Hey, horror fans, once again, it's the Horror Miser Mighty G, and today we're going to talk about last night's season premiere of The Walking Dead. Now, as we left last season, we now know that there's all-out war with Negan and the Saviors and the three communities: Hilltop, the Kingdom, and of course the Alexandria Safe Zone. And this show, last night show, is coming off right straight off from the comics, when it started its all-out war, with Rick gathering the three communities to go up against Negan and the Saviors. Now, I'm pretty sure you know that. Also, want to let you know that with all my recaps, there will be spoilers in here. So if you have not watched last night's show of The Walking Dead, please watch it now and then come back here. You now have been warned. Now, as I stated before, last night's show comes strictly off of the comics, All Out War, and basically this whole thing shows about what happened in that particular comic. Basically, there's some slight changes because, as people don't know, Daryl's not the character. Daryl is not in the comics. He was created strictly for the show. There are some subtle changes between the TV show and what's happening in the comics, and but it's all similar. We started the show. Rick is giving out a rounding speech along with Ezekiel and Maggie. They're all telling them that we've already won and we're getting ready to go fuck Negan up. And that's basically how the show starts. We also get this surreal dream where Rick is kind of older, some like old man Rick. And looks like he's sleeping, and we get that surreal dream too. We also get other shots where it looks like Rick is standing over the graves of Glenn and Abraham, and there's something shining in his eye too. So we get a lot of cuts back and forth. We also get cuts with Carol and Tara standing on the bridge, and there's this huge herd of walkers underneath the bridge as well. So it looks like they're setting up to do something against Negan and the Saviors. We also see that Dwight is shooting secret messages over to Glenn. And what we also find out what those little notes are, or those are supposedly spies or surveyors from the whatchamacallit, and they're taking out rather ruthlessly. Ruthlessly, there's one where Morgan literally stabs this guy in the face or in the chest with whatchamacallit. Of course, he stabs him in the head, so he doesn't reanimate. We see some more of the lookouts get picked off by Rick's gang. There's this one particular scene where there is a guy handing out. Rick stabs him in the gut, and there's a walker standing up beside him. Real nice, gooey-looking walker, which I thought makeup was done very well. And of course, while he's dying, he's saying, "You're gonna die, and Negan's gonna kill your son, and he's gonna make you watch, and you're not gonna win." So Rick finally frees the walker, allowing the zombie to feast. Real good. I wish they would have shown it, but it was off screen kill. But I thought the scene was pretty good. It is before long. After that scene, we see a whole line of cars with these makeshift screens on them. And we see, once again, Rick make his speech. It's kind of shot out of sequence. We don't know what's real time and what's might be in the past. And that was one of the things I didn't like about it. We don't know what's happening in real time, what's happening in the past. And we get some more of that surreal dream of old man Rick, who's now coming out of the bed. We see Michonne, where we see Rick's son, and we also see a little more grown Judith right away. And they told him and said, "What happened to my alarm?" And he says, "Well, we decided to let you sleep later because you're tired." So basically, the all-out war is about to begin. Meanwhile, we see a whole herd of walkers that Carol, Tara, Daryl, and Morgan are leading through the whatchamacallit and lead them to the sanctuary. There's this one walker that could have set everything off that Morgan kills. There's some sanctuary people that unfortunately they get blown to bits, and this huge herd of walkers that they lead straight through the sanctuary. This is before Rick and the whole team arrive at the sanctuary doors. They eventually draw out Negan. Of course, Negan and Rick have this nice conversation, which I thought was done very well. And Negan tells him, he says, there's no way in the world you're going to win because you're outnumbered. And of course, once we open the door and we see Gregory. Oh, Gregory, you sell out. Yeah, it seems like Gregory has decided to be the whistling, wheezing, snickling weakling that he is, and is going back to the sanctuary and sided with Negan. He makes a proposal saying that anybody that's with me on the hilltop will be safe. If you are with Rick, you and your family will be thrown out and kicked out of the community to fend for yourselves. Of course, no one goes with Gregory. Jesus says, "Where the hilltop stands with Maggie." Even Maggie makes a statement to whatchamacallit. This causes Calvin, who's been sort of a thorn to Gregory, to push him down the steps. Then, of course, Rick gives Negan the countdown. He actually gives them the 5 before they start shooting. Now, they're not actually trying to shoot at the Saviors or Negan. Well, maybe Rick is, because he really wants to kill Negan. He's actually shooting because they're trying to drive the walkers there. As I stated before, this is similar to what happened in the Walking Dead comic book. It's basically the same thing. So eventually they do what they need to do in order to draw the walkers there. And they are trying their best to get out. Of course, Rick still sees Negan, who's trying to get away from the gunfire before the walkers invade the sanctuary. And next thing you know, I think Father Gregory? I forget his name. Father, whatever, I forget his name. If you remember his name, put it down in the comments. I can't remember the Seth Gillian's character, Father. I forget his father, the father's name. He tells Rick to go, and of course he sees Gregory, who's trying his best to avoid the walkers, and he decides to go on ahead and try to save him. But unfortunately, he's the one that gets left behind. And Gregory, being the weaseling, sniggling weakling that he is, leaves Father there. And unfortunately, the father is left to fend for himself. Luckily he gets to an area where he can get in, but unfortunately Negan is there. And of course Negan says, "This must be shitting your pants time, because you will shit your pants," in typical Negan fashion. And of course, like I said, excuse me. And of course, like I said, we get to see the end of the dream sequence where there's some type of festival going on and everyone's planning a whole bunch of stuff. Alexandria looks like it's whole peaceful area before we switch back to supposedly real time, where once again Rick is still making his speech. And that's basically how the show ends. That's basically it. That's how the show ends. Like I said, I thought this was a nice way to start the all-out war phase. I don't know where or how they're going to do it, or they're going to make it similar to the comic books or not. Sometimes they do make subtle changes in here as far as what's going on, what they follow in the comic or what they don't follow in the comic. Well, it was a very effective episode. It's a nice way to get the war started. It seems like they're going back to what The Walking Dead was before. A lot of people did not like last season 7 because they felt as though it was dragging on too long in their search for guns in order to fight the Saviors. And I can understand that, because it's like, yeah, I know, it seems like we're repeating every episode. We need guns. We need guns. Even with that new group that they found. Not the women's group, but the other group that sold them out at the end where Sasha died. They couldn't get guns from them. They finally got guns from that Seaside Shore group that Tara ran into. That's where they got the guns from. But at least this episode looks like they're going to be all out war. Now, I don't know how long they're going to keep this storyline going, or if it's going to be part of the whole storyline, or it's just going to be half the season. We don't know for sure, but it was a good way to start the episode. Good way to start the season. So, my horror fans, what did you think about last night's season premiere of The Walking Dead? Did you think it was a good way to start the all-out war, or was this just typically The Walking Dead being The Walking Dead? Or have you finally just said, you know what, I can't deal with this show anymore, I stopped watching it? Make your comments down in the comments section below, and let me know what you thought about last night's episode of The Walking Dead. Also, just as a reminder, I'll be doing my first Q&A video, hopefully should have by next Tuesday. So if you haven't got your questions in, once again, make your questions down in the comment section below. Like I said, it can be horror related or non-horror related. Again, nothing nasty. I would like to be advertiser friendly, but once again, I will be doing my first Q&A video Should have that up by Halloween. I'll probably start working on it this weekend. So if you haven't got your questions up, please place your questions in the comment section below. Okay, that's my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And of course, if you do like this video, please hit that thumbs up button and share this video as well. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscriber button and ring that bell so that way you can become part of the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser Monty G. And as usual, all my social media links will be down in the description below as well. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember, horror rules.